Hello there everyone, this is Matt English here. Today is December 22nd, 2015, and I want to take a few minutes to discuss the potential for severe weather coming here on Wednesday. Well, for starters, it is the Christmas holiday, but the weather would say otherwise. The first day of winter was today, and it kind of felt a little wintry out today. It was a lot colder than what it has been in the most recent days. However, there's a strong storm system that will be sweeping across the Mississippi River Valley tomorrow. Now, so here's the summary of what we can expect for our local area. As you can see right here on the map, I did make this one this morning, and this is not the current SPC outlook, and I'll show you the current outlook on the next slide here. But I kind of have our approximate location of Pontiac put in this red star. As you can see, we are within the slight risk area as defined by the Storm Prediction Center, with an enhanced risk well to our south. So strong to severe thunderstorms are possible. It looks like the best time frame for activity like this to start will be around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, lasting to about 6 p.m. in the evening. Now, there might be some rain before that, because the current forecast does call for some fog and some drizzle starting late tonight, and then some rain showers to begin Wednesday morning. But the time frame for the really heavy and potentially severe stuff will be from about 1 o'clock to 6 o'clock. That time frame has not adjusted very much since I made this image this morning. We could be looking at storms producing hail as large as the size of quarters. Now, hail doesn't often fall in the Pontiac area, but you still need to be cautious, as these storms could very well be producing some hail. But hail is not the main threat. The main threat for our area will be damaging winds up to about 65 miles per hour, which 65 mile per hour winds is enough to knock down trees and power lines, cause power outages. So it's something we definitely need to look out for. The tornado threat will be mainly to our south. However, we cannot rule out the potential for an isolated tornado up here in the Pontiac area. Heavy rain is definitely a concern, which could lead to some flood problems. Now, here's the current Day 2 outlook. This was issued this afternoon by the Storm Prediction Center. There was some changes. The slight risk was adjusted a little bit to the west, kind of follows the Illinois River now. So we are still within it. The enhanced risk, which is well to our south still, but the enhanced risk was expanded. I do want to mention, because since I do have followers elsewhere outside the Pontiac area, that in the enhanced risk area, so we're generally looking at the mid-Mississippi to the lower Mississippi Valley, we could be looking at a potential tornado outbreak. There are Torcon values assigned by the Weather Channel, Torcon values up to 7 in some of those areas. So be expecting some tornadoes to touch down. A few of those tornadoes could be strong. You'll also be looking at damaging winds, large hail. So a very active day is definitely expected all across the Mississippi Valley, even into the Ohio Valley. But good news for the Pontiac area, we're still well outside the main risk area. We're not going to be looking quite as serious of a threat, but the threat is still there, and we need to pay attention to this forecast very closely, as always. Here's a weather story that I wanted to share with you guys. This was posted by the National Weather Service in Lincoln this afternoon. So there is a severe weather threat Wednesday afternoon and evening, as I've been saying. Main concerns are damaging winds, but there is also a threat for isolated tornadoes and hail. And as you can see, this little dashed line is kind of where the threat cuts off for the most part, and that really it almost follows the Illinois River pretty much. It's not too far from it. So the leading edge of this risk area goes through Peoria, goes south of Ottawa, It includes cities like Lincoln, Bloomington, Pontiac, Champaign, Danville. All these areas shaded in yellow do have the potential for some severe weather, with a much lesser potential out here in the greens. About 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch of rain on average for Wednesday, but excessively heavy rain is likely this weekend, potential for widespread river flooding to develop. And I will be talking about that also once we get past this whole severe weather thing. And the map on the right, I'm going to show you a more zoomed in image of that here in a second. So yes, lots of rain for our local area. As you can see, if you can see here on the map, Pontiac is labeled to be getting 3.5 inches of rain over the next 7 days, and even higher amounts as you go south and west. Like the St. Louis area looks like they could be getting 1/2 foot of rain over the next 7 days. That's absolutely insane. So we are looking at a widespread heavy rainfall event. So we'll be having some heavy rainfall tomorrow, obviously, and then there's going to be multiple storm systems coming through over the next several days through the Christmas holiday and on after that. That's going to be producing significant amounts of rainfall, which could lead to flooding. And that goes for the really the entire Midwest region is going to be under the gun for excessive rainfall over the next several days. And we're going to go to another map of that. This is zooming out to the national rainfall outlook. This is for the next 7 days. Take a look at that. This is unreal for this time of the year. We are in late December. There's no, other than in the west, the western United States is getting snow. But the rest of us is just getting rain, thunderstorms, all kinds of stuff. This is something we normally see whenever we're coming out of the winter season in the spring. Instead, or you know, in the middle of summer when it's really stormy. Instead, this is happening in late December. It's uncommon for this to happen, but not unheard of. But as you can see, Pontiac is near the border of the area of the shading of 4 inches, which follows this like kind of darker orange color. We're kind of just to the north of that, so which that follows the map I just shown you. But otherwise, just take a look at how vast this area goes. Anywhere that's in the red is getting at least 2.5 inches of rain. That's a huge area, and as you can see here in the Ozarks region, they're going to be getting over 8 inches of rainfall. As you can see here in south central Missouri and east central Oklahoma, northwestern Arkansas, over 8 inches of rain is currently forecast. So we're going to be looking at widespread flooding to develop. The good news is it shouldn't fall too. There will be periods of heavy rainfall, but it should be spread out over time. That widespread flash flooding shouldn't be occurring. But over time, this is going to cause some flood problems. So if you live near a river basin, you need to monitor the river forecast very closely. And so yeah, so that's the rainfall outlook. I believe, we got one more here. Kind of going back on a local basis, I made this graph earlier for the Vermilion River at Pontiac. I'm going to keep updating this graph. This is not an official National Weather Service forecast. This is my own personal thinking on what the river is going to be doing. So we already are in a very slow rising state right now. Just very slowly coming up. This is because of the rainfall we had over the last 24 hours. My forecast that I put out, that slow rise is probably going to continue into tomorrow, then level off. And then as we get the severe weather coming through, the heavier rain, I am expecting a more significant rise to occur. Nothing too bad. The flood stage is not, you don't reach the flood stage till 14 feet, and as you can see, it's still going to be well below the flood stage. That's just my current thinking and what's going to happen over the next 48 hours. It's probably with all the rain that we're going to get, it's going to end up a lot higher in the coming days, so be sure to stay tuned to that. So it's going to be a very interesting day. Please do not dismiss the threat of severe weather just because it's late December. This is when it can catch most people off guard. Be sure to watch local media. Stay tuned to my Facebook page. I'll be posting updates as the situation develops. As for my weather enthusiasts, you might be seeing a moderate risk be issued by the Storm Prediction Center for some areas of the Mississippi Valley by tomorrow morning, which that'd be crazy to see in late December. So stay tuned for that. Otherwise, I believe that is all I have for you. Thank you for watching this, and stay tuned for updates.